Jane Fonda is the speaker for the 50th commemoration of the May 4th shooting, but one fired-up group of protesters are not happy about it.
As the coronavirus spreads in Italy, see how it could potentially affect Kent State students and what steps they are taking for prevention.
The Democratic debate was last night, and firearms was a big topic of discussion. We have the updates and what was said ahead.
A winter storm system moves into our area tonight and could leave up to 6 inches of snow by this weekend. I'll break down everything you need to know in my forecast.
This is TV2 News.
For the May 4th speaker continues to cause controversy within the community. Good evening, Kent State and all of Portage County. I'm Gianna DaPra.
And I'm Chris Abreu.
Kent State is having Jane Fonda speak during the 50th commemoration of the May 4th shooting, and more people are showing their disapproval. Thunder Roads, Ohio, and Reasons to Ride announced on Facebook that they will be protesting in an event called Ride to be Heard. The motive is to get fellow motorcycle riders to rev their engines and distract from Fonda's speech in the Mack Center. The group wants to show they have not forgotten about her stances on the Vietnam War she took years ago. 1,500 people on Facebook indicated that they're interested in joining the protest.
Cuyahoga County jail guards were sentenced to time in prison for assaulting inmates. The two guards, Nicholas Evans and Timothy Dugan, pled guilty in October for their charges. Reports say they continuously punched inmate Terrence DeBose while he was restrained in a chair. Evans was sentenced to 9 months in prison, while Dugan got 10 days in jail. And a former teacher at St. Edward's High School was sentenced to 3 years of probation earlier today, after allegedly attempting to meet a teen for sex. 13-year-old Patrick DeChant pleaded guilty to attempted unlawful sexual conduct with a minor. As a part of his plea deal, he must register as a second-tier sex offender and must attend counseling sessions. His phone and computer will be monitored as well during his probation.
Snow is on its way back to Ohio, and reports say it might be a tricky morning drive as the snow starts early, although Northeast Ohio might be getting more rain.
It is expected to get up to 5 inches of snow starting tonight and will continue all the way until Saturday. So get ready for low temperatures and a lot of brushing off your car.
I'm not ready for that. After this past week, it's been extremely nice, like spring-like almost.
I know. You're so ready for spring now. Maybe our weather anchor Rachel Gross has a little bit of hope for us. Rachel?
Hi guys, unfortunately those warm temperatures we've been seeing are going away right now. As you can see, 37 degrees right now, and it's only going to get colder. The winds are pretty calm right now at around 4 miles per hour, but it's only going to pick up going into tonight. And looking at the radar currently, we're sitting right on the edge of snow and rain right now. Going to be seeing more of a mix going into the evening, and then by 9 p.m. turning into mostly snow. Zooming out a little bit now, you can see the system goes all the way from Indiana, stretching into Pennsylvania. And as you get into Pennsylvania and West Virginia a little bit, it's turning more into rain, but we're going to be seeing a little bit more snow up here in Northeast Ohio in the next few days. And then looking ahead to tonight, there's going to be a rapid freeze up as temperatures drop down to around 23 degrees. Overnight, we might be seeing 1 to 3 inches of snow, and it's going to feel pretty cold with those winds gusting up to 33 miles per hour. And could we be seeing some snow tomorrow as well? I'll let you know in my full forecast, so make sure you stick with TV2. Back to you, Gianna.
Thanks, Rachel. A man on the loose in Akron is wanted by the police. Officials are searching for Harold Lee Malachi Hamilton after an aggravated robbery at the Walgreens on Copley Road. Hamilton is reported to have several other businesses robberies on that same street. The suspect is said to be armed and dangerous by officials. If anyone has information, they are urged to contact the police.
And the city of Akron is offering new startup grants for many local storefronts and businesses. Mayor Dan Horgan is taking applications from startup businesses so they can receive storefronts in important business districts. The program is called the Rubber City Match, and they are offering $160,000 in the first round of using the program in the city.
Cuyahoga Valley National Park is staying closed for a little while longer. The trail was originally closed from February 10th to February 21st, but it is now set to be closed through March 6th, and there is no detour. The section is closed due to the Northeast Ohio Regional Sewer District watershed partnership with the National Park Services. They are trying to restore the water flow in the canal while still keeping the history.
The Stowe Police Department issued warrants for suspects that were allegedly involved in a Speedway robbery. The robbery occurred at the Graham Road Speedway service station where they stole an employee's SUV Sunday morning. The
suspects are a man and a woman named Sean Phipps and Ashley Mayfield. They are being charged with the first-degree felony of aggravated robbery and fourth-degree felony of grand theft of a motor vehicle. And the coronavirus has made its way to Italy, and Kent State Study Abroad program announced their further actions.
When we come back, we have everything you may have missed during the 10th Democratic debate last night.
And after this week's snowstorm, we're in need of warm temperatures and sunny days. I'll let you know if we'll get any of the sort when TV2 returns.
This is Portage County's TV2, broadcasting from the campus of Kent State University. Streaming online at kentwired.com.
Okay guys, let's get started.
I gotta tell Michaela.
What?
Oh my gosh!
That you would not believe.
What?
Oh my god. What?
Oh, the blurb's on at 9 on Tuesdays.
If you don't fix them, sparks from dragging tow chains could cause a wildfire, and that could be scary. Smokey. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back. The presidential primary is coming up in Ohio on March 17th, and nearly 150,000 absentee ballots have been requested. The primary gives Democrats their first chance to show who they want to face off with President Trump come November. About 18,000 votes have been cast statewide so far.
The 10th Democratic debate took place last night in South Carolina, and some candidates received more time than others. Whether the topic was the coronavirus outbreak, the troops in the Middle East, or China's involvement in the U.S. infrastructure, candidates argued their stance, and not always kindly. Gun legislation was one of the police policies at the center of discussion, and here, former Vice President Joe Biden and Sanders make remarks on how their ideas differ.
150 million people have been killed since 2007 when Bernie voted to exempt the gun manufacturers from liability. More than all the wars, including Vietnam, from that point on. Carnage on our street. And I want to tell you, if I'm elected and I'm coming for you and gun manufacturers, I'm going to take you on and I'm going to beat you. I'm the only one who's done it.
That was a bad vote. I have today a D- voting record from the NRA. 30 years ago, I likely lost a race for the one seat for Congress in Vermont because 30 years ago I supported a ban on assault weapons. 30 years.
Those on the debate stage continue to pick up where they left off last debate and continue to go after newcomer Michael Bloomberg.
At least I didn't have a boss who said to me, kill it, the way that Mayor Bloomberg
never
is alleged
said
to
that.
have said to one of his pregnant employees.
Mayor Bloomberg has a solid and strong and enthusiastic base of support. Problem is, they're all billionaires. Now, if you look...
Now, Bloomberg wasn't the only one feeling the heat. Many people went after Sanders' Democratic Socialist ideas, including Senator Elizabeth Warren.
Bernie and I agree on a lot of things, but I think I would make a better president than Bernie. And the reason for that is that getting a progressive agenda enacted is going to be really hard, and it's going to take someone who digs into the details to make it happen.
The South Carolina primary will take place this Saturday, and the results will show if the debate had any impact on voters' opinions.
24 people were pronounced dead in the Indian capital, New Delhi, on Monday during President Trump's visit to the city. The violence occurred over a new law that will fast-track citizenship for non-Muslim minorities from certain countries. The highest elected official, Arvind Kejriwal, tweeted about the policy's inability to control the protest and requested that the military be called in. How is a Kent State organization addressing the health of Black women and women-aligned people?
Our reporter Camryn Calderwood has the story. Hi, Camryn.
Hi, guys. Last night, I attended an important discussion event at the Kent State Women's Center. Take a look.
Yesterday, the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion teamed up with the Women's Center to hold a discussion about body positivity, sexual liberation, and mental health for Black women. The event was part of a larger ongoing series called Where Do Black Women Go?
We wanted to focus on health. So whenever I hear health, a lot of people think exercise and getting fit. But to me, health is looking after all aspects of your health. 3 of the main things I wanted to cover was mental health, sexual liberation, and body positivity with Black women.
And while it is true that health is an important topic for all people, Jordan stated just how crucial the discussion is for this specific community.
For Black women in particular, that was something that I felt really needed to be driven home. I wanted it to be a learning experience and a place for Black women and women-aligned people to heal and to be able to talk about experiences that oftentimes they don't really get to discuss.
Overall, the event was that of acceptance, sharing, and celebration of vulnerability regarding health. And this was exactly the goal of the event.
I am enamored by this project, and I'm glad that it got the reception and it got the dialogue that it did. We kind of started to foster a different outlook on health, not again just exercising and getting fit, but more so looking after each other, looking after yourself, and figuring out ways to survive in this hustle and bustle world.
And if you want to become more involved with the Women's Center or the Division of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, you can sign up for their email list or follow them on Instagram at KSU Women's Center. Reporting for TV2 News, I'm Camryn Calderwood.
Ahead of the winter weather, ODOT announced their plan to battle the incoming storm. They'll dispatch about 300 crews to keep roads clear and safe for motorists, and they're asking anyone who has to travel to give plows some extra room to work, and they're also asking motorists to allow for extra travel time and only travel if necessary. And then taking a look at tomorrow's forecast as well. Tomorrow we're going to be seeing about 1 to 3 inches of snow on top of what we've already seen, and it's going to be very windy and cold. 28 degrees, but it's going to feel more like 5 degrees with those wind gusts of up to 44 miles per hour. So make sure you're bundling up tomorrow because a frostbite can set in within 15 minutes of being outside. And taking a look at the snowfall totals throughout the region, here in Kent, we're going to be seeing around 3 to 4 inches around there. We do have the possibility of seeing around 5, but it's still a very low chance. So I would say expecting more 3 to 4 inches up off Lake Erie, where they're going to be seeing that lake effect snow up in northeast Ohio and northern Pennsylvania as well. More than 10 inches of snow expected up there because of the lake effect snow. The further southeast you get in Ohio, the less snow is going to be on the ground. And taking a look at the 7-day forecast, like I said, snow throughout Saturday. Then on Sunday, it's going to warm up to 45 degrees again, maybe seeing a little bit of sun, maybe some rain in the PM. And then going into the beginning of next week, mostly rain is in the forecast for the beginning of next week. We do see that 57-degree temperatures up there on Tuesday, going to warm up drastically after the storm, but still not really that much sun. Definitely a lot of chances for rain, and that's all I have for tonight. Make sure you tune in tomorrow morning at 11:30 for updates on this winter storm system. I'm Rachel Gross. Stay safe and warm, Portage County.
Website named Glassdoor ranked Cleveland among the top 5 cities in the United States for jobs in 2020. Cleveland placed fifth in the ranking with their results based on 3 main factors, including hiring opportunity, cost of living, and job satisfaction. Other cities in Ohio placed high as well, with Cincinnati 9th place and Columbus in 14th.
The deathly illness that is traveling around the world has made it to Italy with Kent State study abroad students, and the school has something to say about it.
A lot of action around the university, especially on the court. We'll take a look at the standings in the MAC with 3 games left to go this season.
Patriotism. It inspires passionate debate. It's worn like a badge of honor with good reason. I know. Because it means love and devotion for one's country. But what really makes up this country of ours? It's the people. To love America is to love all Americans. This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Love beyond age, sexuality, disability, race, religion, and other labels. Because love has no labels.
Always exciting, always American Fireworks in Stowe, Ohio is indeed closed over the weekend edition of Sports Corner.
And the Flashes shock the world.
They're going to be playing such a top team. You know, it's just going to be interesting what can happen here.
I think it's really important right now that we remain focused on what we're doing.
Bottom 8. 4-3. I can't wait to get this show over so I can watch the rest of the game. Jukebox hero with stars in his eyes.
Happy birthday, Mom, tomorrow, my number 1. My biggest fan.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
Despite the growing fear of coronavirus in Italy, Kent State students studying abroad will remain in Florence. Sources say unless the U.S. Embassy in Rome decides that Americans should evacuate Italy, they will stay. Many concerns come after Syracuse University confirmed their Florence program have been canceled.
The director of the Kent State University Florence Center did, however, assure students that if they wanted to leave right away, they could, and attend classes remotely. Kent State has canceled all planned field trips outside of Florence until March 15th due to new rules put in place by the Italian government. And continuing with the pandemic, President Trump was very busy today in many meetings discussing how the coronavirus can affect the U.S. CNN's Camryn Calderwood has the story.
The coronavirus has now spread to every continent but Antarctica. Brazil's health minister says a man with the country's first case arrived from Italy, home to the largest outbreak outside of Asia and one that continues to grow. Here on Capitol Hill, Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar told House members the U.S. is on alert and working to prevent a potential spread.
The immediate risk to the American public remains low, but there is now community transmission in a number of countries, including outside of Asia, which is deeply concerning.
After President Trump's comments Tuesday that the coronavirus is under control in the U.S., Democrats are concerned he isn't taking the threat seriously.
I don't think the president knows what he's talking about, once again.
The Trump administration expects to allocate at least $2.5 billion in resources to fund the coronavirus response. Democrats and even some Republicans say it's not enough. As more cases are confirmed in more countries outside of China, where the coronavirus originated, experts say a global pandemic isn't far off.
We have countries that are starting to have community spread, which is essentially getting us closer and closer to what you would consider the definition of a pandemic.
The president says he will be joined by representatives from the CDC at a press conference at the White House this evening. In Washington, I'm Camryn Calderwood.
President Trump's re-election campaign is suing the New York Times for libel after they claimed the paper published false information about the president in an op-ed last year. According to Trump's lawyers, the newspaper published defamatory claims that the president's 2016 campaign had a deal with Russia. According to the complaint, the Times were aware of the falsity of their statements, but published them with the intent to mislead readers and hurt the campaign.
A pastor in Cleveland caught in a human sex trafficking investigation. Officials say Reverend Dr. Randolph Brown took advantage of 3 teen girls who ran away from home. Brown paid for sex with 2 victims who were 14 and 15 years old. The pastor is being indicted on 2 counts of compelling prostitution. And 21-year-old Joyce Richmond is being indicted with 2 counts of trafficking in persons and 3 counts of compelling prostitution.
A judge sentenced an Akron man to life in prison for killing and burning a Massillon woman by the side of the road. Daniel Jones admitted to choking Carrie Blondheim to death in September 2018 while he was under the influence of drugs. He then burned her body and her belongings along the side of Van Buren Road in New Franklin. Jones received a life sentence with possible parole after 19 years. And the Cuyahoga County Medical Examiner has identified a burned and dismembered body found near railroad tracks in Cleveland last week. They identified the victim as 54-year-old Bennett R. Smith. Her body was discovered last Wednesday by fire officials who were called to the scene of a brush fire. Anyone with information should call the Cleveland police at the number below.
And just about 40 minutes away from tip-off with the women's basketball team taking on Akron. I'll have the preview for that and much more after the break.
The inherent right to work is one of the elemental privileges of a free people. Endowed, as our nation is, with abundant physical resources, and inspired as it should be, with the high purpose to make those resources and opportunities available for the enjoyment of all. We approach this problem of reemployment with the real hope of finding a better answer than we have now.
And now, your TV2 Sports Report.
Hi everyone. Now Wednesdays are always loaded with Kent State athletic news, and we have a lot today, so let's get started with men's basketball. They took on Miami yesterday, and there you see Malik Foster, 5-year-old, getting some shots up with the team. Kent State, they started off hot, 11-0 run. Here, Troy Simons, he'll go to a Danny Pippen, who drills a 3-pointer. He had 16 points on the day. He gives the Flashes the lead. Second half now, Anthony Roberts, he's going to get the ball, and he's going to drive right down the lane and kick it right out to Philip Whittington with an easy lay-in. Flashes now up 7. 8 minutes left in the game. Troy Simons off the mark, but Philip Whittington again coming in clutch for the Flashes. He'll get the rebound. He had 12 points and 5 boards on the day. 2:16 left. Simons, he'll drive up the middle. No foul call, and he has the easy open lane layup. He had 7 points. Flashes win 74-61. Here's Coach Senderoff on their quick start to win.
You know, you never know the type of energy you're going to come out with after that type of loss. It was a tough one. Started the game a great way. They obviously made a bunch of threes in the first half. They made their first 5. I think they were 5 for 6. And we were able to stick with our game plan and, you know, have a lead at halftime and then extend it in the second half.
Now things are really coming down to the wire in the MAC, and every game has some big implications. Here's the standings right now with only 3 games left to play. There's a tie at 4th place with Buffalo and Ball State. Then Kent State only 1 game behind them in 6th place. Remember, the top 4 seeds, they clinch a bye to Cleveland, and Bowling Green, they've already done that. Akron only 1 win away from doing the same. Now turning it to the women's side, the Flashes are in a 3-way tie for 4th place in the MAC with 4 games to go, and that can all change tonight. The Wagon Wheel Challenge will continue, and Kent will play the Akron Zips coming into town tonight. The Flashes beat Akron earlier this season 60-55, but then the Zips went on a 3-game winning streak, which brings us to this game. Head coach Todd Starkey is 6-1 against the Zips and will look to improve that tonight at 7. And some football news today. The MAC has released their 2020 schedule for this upcoming season. So here's a look at what Kent is up against. 3 out of their first 4 games will be against Power 5 schools. Third straight year that's happened. Only 5 home games this season. 2 big ones against in-state rivals Akron and Ohio. Later in the season, they'll have a pair of Wednesday games and then a pair of Tuesday games, wrapping up their season against defending MAC runner-up Central Michigan. First game only 192 days away. And some student athletes bringing home some hardware these last couple of days. Kent State baseball pitcher Ryan Lane honored with MAC Pitcher of the Week from his dominating performance against Florida Gulf Coast on Sunday. He threw it 8 and a third shutout innings, only allowing 3 hits and recording 10 strikeouts in the 4-0 win. The Flashes will be back on Friday to play Winthrop in South Carolina at 4. And the 5th-ranked women's golf team won the Icon Invitational. Let's take a look full screen on those standings. 10 under, 3-round total for the Flashes. Golfer Kaylee McGinty, Panipa Panthong, and Chloe Salort. They took 3rd, 4th, and 5th place individually. And as a team, Kent State beat out schools like Purdue, Texas A&M, and Texas. And now the Flashes won't be back until March 14th for the Valspar Augusta Invitational in Georgia. But quite a bit of success for the Kent State Athletics this week.
Yeah, it's looking like it. Hopefully the basketball team can get up with a championship.
Yeah, I mean, the last time the men's basketball team won one was 2017, and for the women, it's 2002. So hopefully they get back to it.
Wow, I can't wait for it. Thank you, Mitch. Now, pierogi lovers can rejoice yet again. The Northeast Ohio Pierogi Fest has added another day to the festival after it sold out. It'll feature vendors from across the region serving up their best Polish dishes. The celebration will take place at the Cuyahoga County Fairgrounds on April 4th and 5th. Grab your tickets before they sell out again using the link at the bottom of your screen.
And as if Chipotle could not get any better, they find a way to do it. The Mexican restaurant revealed their 3rd queso dip. They released their first queso in 2017 and didn't get the reviews that they wanted, then modified it a year later. This one is a whole new recipe and is supposed to be a big difference. It's supposed to be a white cheese dip with different kinds of peppers. You can fill your stomachs with this queso starting Thursday. And if that didn't make you hungry, then this will. Wendy's new breakfast menu is in store for this coming March. There will be 9 new sandwiches, including the morning edition of the Baconator. And if you need a sweet tooth, an iced froscino and a honey butter chicken biscuit will make the menu as well. March is right around the corner, so keep a lookout for that menu change.
Like you said, Gianna, March is right around the corner, and we might be seeing some warmer temperatures coming into the beginning of next week. Almost 60 degrees on Tuesday. You see that high at 57 there. But we're just going to have to get through a little bit more winter first with a couple inches of snow coming our way these next few days. But after that, hopefully it should start to warm up and we should start to be feeling more spring-like temperatures.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. This is Wednesday evening.
Stick around at 9 for a new episode of All Systems Go. I'm Chris Abreu.
And I'm Gianna DaPra. Have a great night, Portage County.
The right amount of food is hard. The Guestimator makes it easy. Just tell it who's coming and what's for dinner. Then it tells you how much to make. And yes, it even plans for leftovers. Try it at SaveTheFood.com.
Every one of us has a voice. And every voice has the power to shape the world. Ours is no different. Our voice is 85 years in the making, a voice that's more than 700 students strong, one of the largest in the nation. It's 10 different award-winning media partners sharing 34 outlets, all working united toward a common goal. Our voice reaches 30,000 households on TV, over 22,000 magazine readers per year, 500,000 newspapers, feature films in stores nationwide. Our voice is pride in what we do. It empowers students, emerging professionals, to ask tough questions and demand answers. We believe in our voice. We believe in its ability to change the world. And our voice makes us who we are.